Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Jesse and I'm here to teach you how to play the guitar, and I hope you're ready to have some musical fun. So in our last lesson we discussed how to tune the guitar. Hopefully your guitar is now in tune. We're gonna work on our very first chord. So I use a pick, or some people call it a plectrum. But you can easily do this with your fingers. Ta-da! With your, assuming you are right-handed, then your left hand goes on the neck. This is a tradition because people used to only play with their fingers, and guitars did not have any amplification, and so the stronger right hand was used to strum the strings to make more noise, to broadcast the sound out to everybody in the audience. Also, there's a lot of classical guitar fingerings where your left hand is going to make a chord and more or less hold the place, and your right hand is going to do some more arpeggiated finger picking. So that's why we pick with the right hand and finger with the left hand. Of course, please feel free to experiment. And obviously, if you're left-handed, then it goes the other way, unless you're ambidextrous. Anyway, so with your left hand, you're going to pick your strongest finger is going to be the one in the middle here. We're going to put it on E. This is, if you look at my neck right here, this is the D string. There's D. If I have the first fret is one note higher than D, that's going to be D sharp or E flat, depending on what key you're playing in. And then this is going to be E on the second fret. So we're going to put your middle finger on E and press down. You're going to put your finger in between the frets, not on top, but in between. Doesn't really matter where. Push down as hard as you can, and then strum that guitar. This chord is an E minor 7. E minor 7. The handy thing about E minor 7 is you don't have to play more than one string at a time. It's maybe a little jazzier than you might have been expecting. That's because of the 7 in the E minor 7. If your fingers are feeling strong today, you can go ahead and take a second finger. You can either do it this way or this way. So, for example, if I do it like this, I'm going to put my fingers like so on, what is that, B and E on the second fret on the second string and on the third string, and I play it like so. That is a more traditional sounding E minor chord. Sounds very familiar. It is the most common chord in rock and roll music, especially heavy metal, for example, where we would use the palm and mute the strings down at the bridge to go chunka 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 chunka. So we strum it all the way for a nice full rounded E minor chord sound. Now, again, if you wanted to do it with these two fingers, you can, and that gives these other fingers space to make it a 7 again. Make it interesting. But the convenient thing about doing it this way with these two fingers is that then your index finger can come down here, and I'll show you where it's going on the 4th string at the 1st fret. That's going to turn this from an E minor to an E major chord. You hear how much happier that sounds? It's the difference between major and minor. We just turned it into a major chord. So, if you're following along, you've now got 3 fingers on 3 different strings, right here, and right here. Or you might be able to see it better if I do it the other direction. You're going to go your index finger there, and your ring finger there, and your middle finger here. So this is your nice basic E major chord. Now, if you take the exact same shape and move it up 1 string, you don't play the bottom string usually on this chord. This is A minor. Here we've gone back to the more sort of sad or at least emotionally compelling tones of the minor chord. So here we've got E major, and again, you just move the shape down 1 string to make A minor. But I'll show you this a little more slowly so that you can get a hang on it. You're going to take your index finger and put it here, that's C, and then you're going to put your ring finger on the 4th string on the 2nd fret, that's A, which is the root of our chord, although this is also A, the root, so you've got 2 A's right there. And then you're going to have the 5th is E here. And we're going to be able to strum it all together and play a nice, lovely A minor chord. I love A minor. It's such a great key. So if you take E minor and then A minor and then back and forth and then back and forth, they do a really lovely contrast with each other that sounds a little exotic, maybe some, I don't know, kind of sounds kind of Latin. But anyway, so I don't know if you noticed while I was strumming just now, I used the heel of my palm to mute the strings occasionally. It's a rhythmic technique that, as I mentioned earlier, they use it a lot in heavy metal. Right? So you just mute with your palm on the strings. If you're going to be playing while the strings are muted, you're going to always mute all the way down at the bridge so that you don't affect the note that you're playing. But if you're just muting in between chords for that more sort of rhythmic effect, then it doesn't really matter where you mute. You're just going to mute where you're strumming. You can get a lot of really interesting techniques from strumming and then muting. But the alternative, of course, is just to strum and let it ring out. So I hope that you have learned to play at least our original E minor 7 chord. And I will be moving on to a new lesson. Practice this a couple times before you try the next lesson, and I'll be talking to you soon. Thanks a lot. See you. Bye.